Hello and welcome everyone to my studio. You're not in here very often, and it's a little cleaner than it was, and I can actually work in here, which is good, but still got some work to do. But anyway, this video is about, you clicked on it, you should know, holiday envelopes. So if you remember last year, I don't know if you're watching back then or if you saw the video, I will link it, but I did make some holiday envelopes that year. Actually, I made two videos about it because one, I was like making the ideas for the envelopes, designing them, but my envelopes, the ones I use this year, I have a bunch of them now, hadn't come in yet. So I was kind of practicing on crappy envelopes first, and then I actually made the envelopes in the next video. So there's two parts, that's why I'm kind of talking about it. But anyway, I'm using the same envelopes this year, but I have different designs. So, give you a little sneak peek. I'm going to go through these in a minute. First, I'm going to do a quick intro for those who are new to the channel. Hello, I'm Shannon, owner of Shrush Design. I specialize in hand-lettered and illustrated designs for things like signage, murals, invitations and other stationery, digital graphics, and more. I make tutorials of how to do these projects, my methods, the tools I use, and the software I use on a regular basis. For anyone who may be interested, I now also have a free companion course to go along with these videos where you can get access to additional notes, any digital downloads you may need, extra practice, and the direction of where to go once you master the tutorial. You can find that link down in the description or just go to my website www.shrushdesign.com and look for the online courses section. Okay, let's get on with the tutorial. Alright, so I have 7 new designs, kind of 7.5. Why I say that is the first one I did a bow ribbon, and my original sketch looked more like this one, which is the last one I did, which I actually didn't film me making, but I'm going to show you the differences. Like, you see me making this one, but technically this is the better one. Anyway, my original sketch for this was more of like not the loop here, but like this kind of bow where it doesn't have a loop in it technically. And as I was drawing this, I for some reason decided to make a loop, and I decided I don't really like that. So I decided to redo it. There was a couple other things that were kind of wrong with this one too, so I decided to redo it. And the reason why there's something up there is because on the back where I put the return address, I have a lot of these have something on the back, some of them don't. But I decided, because on this one, I only put the vertical stripe and not the horizontal one, which doesn't make any sense. So I put a horizontal one on this one, the one that I redid. And I also made it smaller because it was a little too large on this one. Because one, I mean, you can put the stamp over this and that's fine. But on this one, I can probably squeeze the stamp in here without, hitting the ribbon, which visually is better, but it's fine. Anyway, those are the improvements I wanted to make on this one. So you'll see me doing this one, but this one I actually did last, but I didn't have enough battery in my camera to actually film that part because I had to film this part, so I had to charge my phone. So anyway, YouTube problems. I also was gonna say you could do it in green too, so that's why I did this one in green. So you can do red or green, you can do any color, you don't have to do red and green, but there's kind of two different options you can do. But anyway, when I start showing you what I did, this is the one you're going to see. You're not going to see me doing this one, but it's very similar. So that is that one. There isn't much to say about that. The only thing, I didn't say this yet, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple options for adding addresses to these envelopes and what you can do. I did that last year too. I'm going to do that this year. But I'm going to do it digitally where I don't have to ruin the envelopes. Like, I don't have to put a fake address on them, so I can actually use them, so I'm not wasting them, So I'm going to do that part digitally. But that's those. So I'm not sure which one was next actually in my footage. I think it was this one. Yes, this one. So what I did, the next three are kind of similar. What I did with this one is, now I put the white outline on after, because when I made this one, we're gonna get to this, I put the white outline and I'm like, wow, I really like the way that looks. That looks actually kind of professional. Like, that's amazing. So I decided to add it to this one and the next one too, the wreath that I made. The white outline looks great. And I do show you in the video, like, the difference, like how it looked before, and then I added the white outline. You could do it either way, but I did, you know, basically like a floral, natural, winter themed vine here, and then, like I said, the next one is a wreath, and then this one is kind of a, like, there would be a box here where maybe I might add a box, I'm not sure, for where the address would be. And then this is kind of hanging off the side, and then this is for the return address. It's a smaller version. So, but all of these I think turned out pretty dang good. I am very impressed with these. So you'll see me making them. And like I said, I added the white outline afterwards. So you'll see that very soon, but that is, you know, those three options that I have. Let me just go over this a little more. So I have some holly here, you can see, and just some random kind of leaves, and then some like pine needle vine there, and berries on that one, red and white. And then I made a wreath, and for that I started out basically just doing 3 different colors of leaves, alternating throughout the wreath. And then I added pine needles in between them. It's sort of like the background of the wreath. And then I added some berries, red, alternating red and white throughout. And then I added the white outline, which bumps it up a bunch. I love it. So then here, this one I made a poinsettia, and then like pine kind of small garland coming off there. These are the leaves from the poinsettia, and then I just had berries coming off. I just wanted to do kind of a little spray of whatever. And again, I impressed myself pretty good here. And then on the back, I didn't really put the poinsettia, but I put the poinsettia leaves and the same kind of thing with some pine and some berries. But that, you know, this is where the sending address is going to be. This is where the return address is going to be. So that's what I did there. Just to point out in case I didn't really say it, the vine kind of stretches to the back. So this is what the back will look like. I don't have the return address here. And then the wreath, I didn't actually put anything on the back because I thought this was going to be too small to put a wreath, and maybe I'd put like the same kind of thing like horizontally or something, or maybe I thought maybe I'd write Merry Christmas down here and maybe do something like a wreath around it or something. I'm not sure. This one technically I guess isn't finished, or I could just leave it this way and it would be finished. I'm not sure. But decided to, and then the address goes right in the middle there. And there's room for the stamp. This one is probably going to get a little bit in the way of the barcode on the bottom, but they can add a sticker and do that. That's fine. Next time I make this one, I'm going to squish it a little bit so that there's some room on the bottom. That was that. Now this next one I made Christmas lights. So this one I did leave some room on the bottom and some room for the stamp. Kind of made it, I had to kind of redraw it when I was penciling it in. But, you know, just the same way that I've made these kind of lights on windows before. The only thing I would have changed about this is I used kind of a thicker black marker for the cord, and I should have done a thinner one because I was using the thinner markers for the lights. And in proportion to the cord's a little big, but other than that, you know, it's fine. And this one just has the vertical lights going this way, and the return address will go here. And then these are the two that I didn't get filmed because I turned off the camera for a moment and then I forgot to turn it back on. And then I didn't notice until I was done with both of these. So this one is just candy canes. This one's probably the worst one I did, which is probably good you didn't watch me. But, you know, again, I'd probably move this up again or squish the box up a little bit so that this doesn't go too far down where it'll kind of interfere with that barcode that comes from the post office. But there should be enough room for the stamp. Like I said, I might have to squish the box in a little bit. But other than that, that was fine. And then just on the back, I just did the swirly peppermint candies. I might do maybe a big one back here too at some point before I send this out, because I will be using these. But that is another idea. And then this last one doesn't really have to be holiday necessarily, but I just did, and I did do a fake address on this one because I didn't want to dox any of my friends or my family. But this is where, like, I wanted to illustrate, this is where you would put the name and then you put the address underneath. So when I was drawing the ribbon in, you could do, you know, the Smith family, or you could do, you know, however you're going to address it, John Smith and Jane Doe, or, you know, John and Jane, or whatever. However you want to address it. And if you need more of these, you can add them. Like, you can add extra ribbons to it. You don't need just 2, or you can do 1. Like, you could do 1 ribbon that goes this way, and then with the kind of ends hanging off, and then you could do the, and then the ribbon with the name, the last name, and then family underneath. You could do that too. So I just wanted to show this as an option. And again, I didn't actually film me doing that, but those are the options I have this year. If I come up with any more before the end of the year, I might add them as bonus, or I might add them to my kind of compilation marathon video I'm making of holiday stuff, that I'm going to have some other projects that don't necessarily get their own video. So I might add those to that as well, and or bonus footage to other videos. So that's the options. Now I'm going to show you how I made them. Some of them, the ones I filmed at least. All right, so also before we get to that part, I, again, don't have any bonus footage for this video or any sneak peeks for what's coming up. At least I don't have footage, sneak peeks technically, for what's coming up, but I can tell you what my plan is for the rest of the month. So next Wednesday, I'm going, which is technically my main video day, I'm going to be doing the chalkboard signage that I did last holiday season. And I did it for Halloween this year. I did it for Thanksgiving/fall. That was actually last week's video. But now I'm doing the holiday version. So my chalkboards are all cleaned off, ready to go, start the holidays. And I will be doing that next. So that video is coming out next week. The week after that is this lovely chalkboard wall I have here in my studio. I have made one video about doing murals on it. I am going to be doing that throughout the years, I should say, on this channel with other things. However, these are going to be holiday related, so holiday related chalkboard murals. That's going to be 2 weeks from now. And then the 3 weeks from now is going to be my window murals. So I'm going to be starting those as well. And I have plans for all of this. I have it all planned out. So that's a good thing. And I should be able to get all those out on time. And then I also have, I talked about this in the last video, on one of the Mondays this month, I'm not sure which one yet, possibly 2, I'm going to be doing more of a longer form, but all kinds of projects that I'm doing, including stuff that isn't included in its own video. Like, I wouldn't make one video about a certain thing. So, for instance, I also might make a few more envelopes. So those will be as part of that video as well. And it's going to be mixed in with some footage that I have from last year. Like just holiday crafting kind of stuff, DIY stuff. So that is going to be one of my Monday videos coming up in this month of December. And I also have Procreate stuff coming out. However, the series I started, the Procreate Quick Tips series that I started, that is being put on pause until next year, January. So I just have too much holiday stuff coming out right now. But all the Procreate videos that I do have coming out are going to be more along the lines of, well, holiday related stuff, but also they're going to be a little more advanced in a way, not really advanced, but like they're not really beginner videos. You have to have some level of understanding of Procreate to be able to do them. So for those of you who are watching my beginner videos, you can watch them, but you might not be able to follow along exactly because you don't know everything yet. However, I do have a whole series of longer form videos that you can watch. But anyway, other than that, so Procreate videos I have coming out, just to give you an idea, going to be doing some animation. That'll be probably towards the end of the month. I'm going to do some kind of background painting, drawing type stuff, just to give you kind of an idea of how you could use different brushes for holiday related backgrounds, whether you're drawing something on top of it or you're doing a quote, because that's mainly what I do, is like quotes, because I'm a lettering person. But just to give you some ideas of that. Also going to be doing Procreate brushes. That's, I think, the next Procreate video that's coming out is going to be holiday Procreate brushes. I can show you how to make a few different things. Also, actually, I don't think it's the next one coming out. I do have two versions. I think I'm splitting it into two. It might be one video where I'm using the symmetry tool that I told you about in the guides video to make snowflakes and to make wreaths like the one I made on my envelope here. Like, you make this in Procreate, but you would use the symmetry tool to kind of space things out. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And you can do that any time of the year, not necessarily for a holiday wreath. But that's going to be one of the videos. And then I think that's it for the holidays. Other than like random Procreate stuff, random, marathon stuff. All right, I think that's it with sneak peeks technically. So the rest of the video is going to be the ones that I did film, me making these envelopes. So enjoy.